welcome to the Rolling Forward podcast,
a platform where we talk about all things logistics.
Leading this discussion, you've got Brett and Nathan.
And together, we share a passion for the logistics industry.
All right, welcome back to our podcast, Rolling Forward.
Good afternoon, Nate.
We're here, Brett, and we're here with a fantastic guest, Andrew Rankine. Welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Welcome. You've helped us get to the double digits. We're here at episode number 10, which is fantastic.
Very good.
So I was looking at the stats today with France on the listens, the uptakes, the stars, et cetera, and it's getting some traction. So it's pretty cool.
Good.
Pretty cool. But today we have a really special
guest
thing to talk about, and we'll unveil it partway through. Andrew, when we caught up, he wanted to have a bit of a rundown and a script and whatnot, and I was not relinquishing any control there over. Because we've got a special combination we're launching, and we want you to hear about it first. You've been a part of the port for a number of years, a couple of decades, and you have a love, passion for logistics.
Logistics, yep. Landside logistics, yep.
And the last time we launched a very significant vehicle, you were there with Brett, and you were also part of the journey to get that off the ground. And we'll talk a little bit about that soon. So before we do our on-road assessment, we wanted to release the beast, Andrew.
Yep. We'll
talk about it today, and then we'll go outside and we'll show you what this is all about, and go from there. But first, what I want you to do is just, if you can give yourself a bit of an introduction to the audience.
The listeners, yep. Mm-hmm.
Talk about, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, your career, what you're up to now, et cetera, et cetera. Who is Andrew Rankine?
Okay, well, I'm currently retired, have been for a couple of years. Before that, I spent 20 years at the Port of Brisbane as the logistics manager.
Yep.
Prior to that, I was in the trucking industry, mostly working for the McIver Corporation or McIver Transport. I had 18 months in QR.
Yep.
Previous to that, I had a 23-year career in the military. I finished as a lieutenant colonel, and went from there into the wider world of transport, which I can tell you was a big change from where I had come from.
Yes.
That's for sure.
I bet.
So now I'm retired. I spend a bit of time. I'm a director of the Queensland Transport and Logistics Council, which I enjoy. In actual fact, I helped set it up in about 2007 or 8. I can't remember exactly when, but I helped set it up.
Yeah, okay.
So I could see the need for it, so I got it. I was involved with 2 or 3 other people, and we set it up. And I'm involved in a lot of that. I do.
And what do you think that, like, sorry to interject, but what do you think the need was that you saw that needed that group?
There needed to be the opportunity for industry to have some input into government decisions.
Yep.
That's basically what it was.
Yep.
I could see the need. I wasn't the only one. I was lucky enough to be able to convince a couple of senior people in TMR that was the case, because there wasn't anything like it. And part of that rationale came also from my experience from the Landside Logistics Forum, which I set up in the year I arrived here. When I arrived in 2003, and I went around and spoke to everybody at the port, it became obvious to me straight away that there needed to be a consultative type body of industry people with a connection interest in what the port was doing.
Yes.
And so that then later, after I'd set that up, quickly became obvious that there needed to be something wider and bigger beyond just simply the port itself.
Andrew, do you think, looking back and thinking about the Sydney situation with the poisonous relationship there is between the stevedores, container parks and the transport companies in Sydney, do you think that was part of, I guess, developing a camaraderie that is clear here in Brisbane, that amongst the landside groups?
As in the rationale?
Just the way it worked out. We didn't have that poisonous relationship that the Sydney folk had that resulted in Piblis, and like it being, the relationship being defined in a document as opposed to people working together, which is what's resulted here in Brisbane.
I think that certainly helped. One of the other things I did is I set up the Port Society Logistics Group. a few years after I came here, and of course I got to understand much better how the other ports worked.
Sure.
And I came to realise very quickly that we were a bit lucky in Brisbane.
Yes.
I don't say the LLF, I can't say it was responsible for that, but it probably helped. But certainly Sydney had a very specific problem. And you're right, the relationships, and they had no such really, to my knowledge, such thing as an LLF to, try and sort these things out.
Problems, yeah.
So they end up getting into essentially an analysis, and then the government stepped in because no one was able to come up with a solution that didn't involve a government fiat. That's what happened. And I must confess, I thought at the time, boy, thank goodness we haven't gone down that track in Brisbane, because the inflexibility of it is going to hurt industry.
Yeah.
And it has, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's a stamp in time. It never moves forward, does it?
That's the
Nothing
point.
changes.
Once you put that sort of thing in place, it's very hard to undo.
And puts a brake on collaboration.
That's right.
That's right.
There's no collaboration. It's like these are the rules. That's it.
Exactly. And when the LLF was first set up, there were a lot of issues here at the port. There was a lot of queues. I can remember berating Peter Keat about this when he was running DPW at the time. And the LLF, I won't say solved all these problems, but at least it allowed...
Well, facilitated those
discussions.
Conversations, yeah.
And I think eventually led to more 24/7 operations at the port to get around some of these problems.
Yeah. And I guess for those listening that aren't in industry, the LLF, the Landside Logistics Forum, in simple terms, you organise monthly catch-ups for key industry parties, ports, transport operators and container parks, to actually get together and talk about real topics that are going on.
Yeah. And it started off with that focus. Over time it changed. We introduced a number of other things wider than just simply the sort of stevedore trucking operations.
Yeah.
And it evolved from there, and I'm sure it's from what I can see, it's evolving even further now, which is exactly what you want.
That's right.
You can't stand still with this stuff.
That's right.
It's got to go on, keep going.
Yeah, no, it certainly, I think, from my perspective, encouraged communication, people working together, people coming up with solutions, and
discussion at the odd times got a bit heated.
Oh yeah,
yep.
That's in fact,
as any good relationship does.
You'd wonder what's going
on. The agendas are happening away from the forum, but
the key thing was to get people to the table rather than not come.
Yeah.
To me, that was almost a big success, was to actually get people to the table.
Yeah.
So the LLF's always had, and I'm sure it's exactly the same now, very good attendance.
Yeah.
And people came because they thought they needed to be there, or there was something they needed to know or learn.
Yeah.
And so they came.
Yes. No, I think that was a great innovation.
Yeah.
Innovation, Andrew, yeah.
Well, it certainly led to other things. It led to the Ports Australia Logistic Working Group.
Yep.
It led to the my thoughts about the QTLC.
Yep.
So it sort of was a bit of a catalyst for other things as well.
Yep. And still carries momentum today.
Yep.
So is there anything else you want to say in your intro?
No.
Yep.
I think that's about it.
Yep. Wonderful. So we're going to talk shortly about this combination we're pretty excited about.
Yeah.
But first, what we want to talk about is Super B, then A double, then our combination that we're launching shortly. If you can sort of wind back your mind thoughts back to the early 2000s when the Super B came into play, what was trade like at that point in time? What is your recollection of how did the conversations come about where the Super B was actually created, and then what sort of benefit did that actually bring to market?
Well, I arrived here in 2003, and the Super B was already here.
Yep.
There were only a couple of them from memory, so it had just started.
Yep.
And in part, it started because of those stevedore trucking issues that were evident then.
So people chasing that efficiency, how can we get around this?
Exactly. And there was a recognition that there was a limited footprint on port roads.
Yep.
So something like that could happen. So with my experience with sort of almost HPVs when I arrived here, it was pretty obvious to me what a good vehicle this was and how it could make a difference.
Yep.
to the way it's transport efficiency on port roads.
Yep.
That's basically what it was.
Yep.
So I was very keen on it, and I did everything I could to increase the numbers.
Yep.
I also increased the footprint. Initially, it was only allowed, Super B was only allowed on port roads. They weren't allowed to go to port gates. So that one of the first things I did.
Yeah, which is good because, obviously those carriers that were based around there were restricted.
That's right.
And they're only a stone's throw away.
And that was the point. I didn't see why they should be disadvantaged because of about 200 or 300 metres of road, which we, the port, didn't own. That was owned by TMR. So I had to bring TMR along.
Yes.
We had to do a trial in order to get them to agree that it was quite safe for them to go over the bridge and into Port Gate.
Yep.
So that was that was done. I did also try to get Super Bs further down the road, but I failed.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to because I didn't control the road.
TMR can be a bit sticky.
So that was I don't know how many times I tried every which way, all sorts of different ways, but I was never successful with the Super Big anyway. I still hold out hope.
Well, ultimately, some took it in their own hands to work around that.
Well, so we've got permits for them now, Andrew. They do come off.
Well, that's just wonderful. I knew it had to happen at some stage. It just might, because at the end of the day, one of the other things I worked on was developing a freight precinct, which included this whole area.
Yes.
I mean, the freight precinct isn't just Fisherman Islands.
No.
It's much well beyond that.
That's right.
So I did a lot of work to effectively put together a freight precinct with the whole idea of improving the connections between each part of the precinct.
Yeah, to support importers and exporters. Yeah, that was the whole objective.
Exactly. That was what it was all about. Bit of resistance.
Yeah.
Because you're talking to some of the roads here are council roads.
Yep.
Yes.
Some are TMR roads.
Yes.
So that made life a bit more difficult.
And what you're also talking about there is also OSOM, oversized cargo.
Absolutely.
Within that freight precinct too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of great efforts you've done in that regard, advocating for that industry too.
Yeah, well, that's right.
That part of the industry.
Well, getting back to Super Bs, the other thing that, and this is a bit later, we introduced the quad version at 117 tonne.
Yeah.
So that was...
which is pretty cool to see on the road.
It is. It really is. But it was quite a big jump in payload, actually. 109 to 117 tonne.
Yeah.
So it was certainly worthwhile. And the Super B's just grown and grown. And, of course, now it's gravitated to, I call the light Super B for carrying empty containers.
Yes.
Yep.
That's been a big advantage, I think.
Yep.
Also, once again, it's all about transport efficiency. It's about having less trucks moving the same amount of freight.
That's right.
Not hard.
Yep. And it's, also looking at your maintenance and your upfront costs as well. That light Super B is obviously a cheaper combination, which makes sense for the application it's used for.
Yes.
And some of the conversations we've had in the past about that style of combination is also segmenting your fleet.
Yeah.
So you don't forget about those empties.
Yeah. Well, at one stage we ran a trial for B triples.
Yep.
Super B triples.
Yep.
And I remember we did it with Chalmers, and we did the light one as well.
Yep.
And it didn't go ahead, and the main reason was we couldn't get it into the stevedores.
Yeah.
Yes.
And without that, it essentially
game
fell
over.
It just fell over. It was a good idea.
Yeah.
But it had a bit of a limited, because of that, it had a effectively limited footprint. And Chalmers, rightly so, said, look, this doesn't stack up.
Yep.
Yes.
There's no point going ahead with this.
Yep.
And so, unfortunately, it didn't go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Super B's been a wonderful thing.
Yep.
And I must confess, I got a bit of a surprise driving down the Logan Highway a couple of weeks ago, and saw a quad Super B double right next to me. I thought, goodness gracious, that's fantastic.
That one's out of the pen.
That was out of the. I thought to myself, does it have access, or were they gilling? Were they gilling the lily, or
Having a punt.
having a punt?
No, they have access. We've got access to here with the quads.
I thought so. I thought, well, if that's the case, that's terrific.
Yep.
Yes.
Which is good for Southeast Queensland.
Yes.
Again, it's good for the importers and exporters.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of value that can be added, driving those efficiencies.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. No, it was. I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised to see it there.
Yep. Okay. So let's flow into the 15 years ago, the A-double was
2010, yep.
2010. You're in the photographs with Brett there, Andrew.
Yep.
Then in 2017, the single axle A-double was launched. Again, a segmented combination targeted towards empties. Don't forget about them, the drop-offs, the pickups. And then in 2018, we launched the tri-axle dolly A-double. And that was largely to support our business with how we've, got a particular product line here in Hemet.
An export customer, yeah.
Export customer. So being able to actually cart those really heavy containers down legally to the port.
It was probably the first time, I think, Nath, we got over 85 tonne, which was that line in the sand, the PBS, the 2Bs, for whatever reason, there's a line in the sand. And we were given 91 tonne to facilitate that heavier box on the rear. So the roads don't disintegrate.
No.
The sun still comes up in the morning.
No,
it's okay.
They are safe.
It's okay.
Yeah,
we can go to 91 tonne. Anyway, we'll talk some more about that.
Yeah, no.
But yes,
I agree. No, the A-double was, in many ways, the A-double was a more important vehicle than the Super V.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I think because it had a much wider geographic footprint.
Yes.
And it had a much bigger impact on efficiency and productivity.
Yeah.
Because of the distances it was travelling from the west.
Yeah.
So the A-double was a really important vehicle for Southeast Queensland, for the port. There's no doubt about it. It was locked on quite enviously south of the border, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was a real innovation, and I think it made, and very quickly it became virtually synonymous. It was its footprint, and the numbers just grew. Because I used to count all the vehicles. I had a classifier on the bridge. I used to count them.
Yeah.
And you could watch the graph of these Super Bs just go through the roof.
Yeah.
There were so many.
Yeah.
Les Bruiser said there's 6,000 A-doubles.
No surprise.
Yeah, Australia-wide.
No surprise. It's
Why we're still doing them on permit, Andrew, I don't know, but we still are. But anyway, that's for another day.
Well, that's another story for another day, and you're quite right.
And I know you've fought that fight.
Yes.
And we've all fought that fight. But anyway.
Yeah, no.
Eventually we'll get that fight won and done.
Eventually, that has to happen. It's just not logical not to make it so difficult to put these things on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't afford it.
A lot of cost and impost, yeah.
Yeah, no. But it was a terrific vehicle, and if I remember correctly, yours was the second.
No, it was the first.
Was the first?
It's the first,
okay.
yeah.
Was either first or second?
No, the other mob was second.
Okay.
That's okay.
No, I remember when we came over the bridge and came on the island. That was a red letter day.
Yeah.
Yep. No,
I think.
Yes.
There's a good partnership between SEQH, Hallmark, and Mack Trucks. I vividly remember Brett saying, going to this discussion with Mack and they being one of the providers that literally jumped at the discussion to collaborate with us.
Yeah.
Whereas there was another trucking organisation that wasn't as innovatively thinking, collaboratively thinking.
Well, I can back that up because I remember when your vehicle, we obviously had to assess it against our roads, particularly bridges. And I can remember our senior engineer then was a guy called Gary Bendel.
That's right, yeah.
And he assessed it, and he required no changes to the design.
Yep.
So in other words, he said it's okay as is. That wasn't the case with the other one. The other one we required a change to some of the spacings, I think it was, to allow it to get over the bridge. So the design was a good one, obviously.
Well, it's also because, ultimately it was Hallmark, Mack, SEQH that designed it from scratch.
Yep.
In toto, so.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it was a good vehicle, and it's made a big difference to exporters.
Yeah.
From the west and south west. I mean, they're the ones, to be fair, they're the ones that have got the big benefit.
The biggest benefit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And probably that's the way it should be.
Which is great for the Australian economy.
Good bug.
So let's let it out of the bag. We've got this new combination we're about to put on the road tomorrow as our on-road assessment with NHVR.
Yep.
We're about to show you after this, Andrew.
Right.
Brett, can you let Andrew know?
Sure.
What is this combination?
So what we've done, Andrew, is we've gone one
What's
step.
it called first?
It's called the Super A.
Super A.
Super A. So
Sorry.
Super A.
Sorry. What do you think it is? Before Brett says the actual
combo.
configuration, what do you think the configuration would be? Super A.
3-trailer.
No. We got to deal with those stevedores, Andrew.
Good.
We got to deal with those stevedores.
And that's the objective. You know, when Brett was thinking about this, is we don't want to go to the stevedores and say change this and change that.
No, we got to work within the stevedores envelope.
Okay, so let me have another guess.
Yep.
Quad, tri-quad.
Very close.
Quad, tri.
Not far off.
They're not far off.
Good.
Not far off.
Yep. So she's 30 metres and can cart 4 grain boxes.
Really? What's the payload?
A lot.
Yeah.
Wait.
I thought so.
It weighs out at about 140 tonne.
Oh, that's similar to the Icon that I ran out of Yerby in North Queensland.
It might have been a bit longer, I suspect.
It was 53.5 metres long, road train type 2 road train length.
We put this one on a diet.
How many,
30.
how many tyres has it got?
I haven't counted that.
Okay, the Icon is 98.
Let's start with the prime mover first. So
Yeah, so it's got a 250 tonne rated prime mover under it, so it's good for 34
Tri-drive?
tonne. No, that's only bogey.
Okay.
So we slide the quad up to take a bit more of the weight off the prime mover,
Right.
and it's a mean looking beast and really solid. It only weighs a bit over 25.5 tonne, so it's really efficient in terms of what it is.
So what access do you have for it?
Our plan is we'll be able to pull it off. We'll be able to get PBS off island, but it's going to be a port dweller, so it'll be a Super B equivalent.
Right.
So it'll run down the island pretty much all its life,
And to here?
if needs be. Just come off here for servicing and stuff, Andrew, until we set up a service facility down the island.
So
In which case, it probably won't come off here at all.
So it's essentially a
It's a Super B equivalent.
equivalent.
Yeah, just that it
Sounds
gets
better.
an extra box on.
Yeah.
Of course, with the trade moving to 40s, you don't need a lot of them, but because we do a lot of grain for our Western exporters, for us it's a big advantage. Plus,
Yes.
we also do quite a few heavy 20 imports as well. So
Yes.
the idea is 4 in, 4 out. One move, 4 in, 4 out.
and
And
it's
have
to
you-
support our port move.
Yeah.
So geographically, we'll have the depot down there, the depot back in here in Hemmant, but 70% of our containers are going to go back to the port depot.
Right.
Yep.
And so it's helping that interface with those terminals.
To be as efficient as possible.
Yeah. And we're not interrupting their flow.
So in that case, you probably wouldn't have even need to get permission from the stevedores, would you? It's the same length.
No,
as the
that's
one.
right. No, that's right. There's
Happy
nothing
days.
different about it from
Nothing
their
different.
perspective. It's just a couple extra moves, that's all.
They'll just be interested.
That's
Why is this truck taking a bit longer in the terminal? Well, it's an extra box. Well, extra 2 boxes.
Exactly.
Well, 3 boxes, depending upon
Yep.
what's going back on the import front.
Theoretically, they should be pleased.
Yes, they will be pleased, yeah.
Less trucks.
Less trucks,
Because ultimately, there is
less
a bit of time-
transactions, yeah.
There is a bit of time that it takes just to get into each respective terminal. By the time you process,
Yeah. If you process the port volume with singles, it would take a lot longer
Yep.
because
Of course it would.
you've got movement, and movement creates delay.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So whilst the driver, by the time the driver backs in, by the time it processes through all the different stages to actually get to the respective
Call up
module or zone or
Then
whatnot,
back in, yeah.
and then backs in, at least they're stationary there.
Yep. And
And-
the cranes or the straddles can just do their work.
Yep.
They know what their job is.
And I presume the port has already said this is okay.
Yes,
Okay, I thought
most
so.
certainly.
Have to.
Well, you'd want to say
Have
because
to be, but I'm just checking.
there's 2 trucks and there's 2 trailer sets.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk a bit, Brett, about sort of the design of the actual trailer combination that you've collaborated
Well,
with
it's
with Tevco?
With Tefco, it's a high grade steel, so it's relatively light for its construction, but I think it's got I think the ATM 65 for port use, so 65 tonne each trailer.
Right.
So they are a light steel construction in terms of design, but you look at it and you go, wow, that thing looks heavy. That trailer looks heavy, but it's not.
Has it got a spring suspension?
The truck does. To get that weight on that drive that we need,
Yes. Yeah.
you have to go to a spring suspension. So
Trailers?
no, trailer's a bag, airbag.
Okay.
But again, one of the issues with it is, Andrew, we've actually got to dump the bags to get the boxes off and then put them up, get them back on, because lifting up 55 ton with a suspension is a bit tricky. It'll take time. So you're better off just dumping them, take the boxes off, put the bags up, put the boxes on. Right. Otherwise, that just speeds the process up.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a few things people have got to, so we've got remote
From a
controls
training perspective, we've got to...
Yeah, we've got to make sure people are tweaked into that concept that they just can't go in like normal.
Yeah.
This one, because of the weights, it has to be dealt with in order.
Yeah. And there's also, do you want to talk about the engineering around the twist lock positions as well? Because there's just some more beef around.
Oh, yeah, they're like really beefed up, Nath, because you've got this on your skull. When you put two heavy ones on, it wants to try and break it in half.
Yeah.
The skull, that is. So it's pretty well beefed up, and the twist lock holders are beefed up as well. They're like next level. So, and it's also got a 90mm pin, both truck and dolly. So it's all heavy spec.
Yeah, have to be
stuff. So so it really can't. It's a port dweller. You know, we could run it to Toowoomba for a run, but realistically, it's a port dweller.
So what's the axle limit on the quad?
Well, it's 42 ton.
Okay.
As per a super. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same.
It's exactly the same as a super in terms of its axle groups and actual weights. It's just got more axles, so it can cut more weight.
Yeah.
So
it reminds me of the Icon.
Yeah. It's
same footprint, but
more weight.
More weight, more tyres.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
So we've got a massive big truck towing this thing with more horsepower than we care to think about, and more torque. And some crawler gears and stuff, just in case, for whatever reason, it needs to take off at a very, very, very slow speed. But
Volvo?
It's a Mack.
That's a Mack, yeah.
Mack,
okay. Yeah, Mack with a Mack Titan, so it's got a bonnet that is, you stand in front of it and you look up at it. It's big.
It's a big truck. You look at it, it's a beautiful truck.
It's a good looking thing.
I have a feeling the truck that towed our Icon at Yerbai was a Mack, and it might have even been a Trident.
The Titan.
This is years ago now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big truck, and it still it can do a big job. So
it was parked outside the office on Friday after we got delivery of it, and I moved it. It was empty, but I could still feel a difference.
Did you consider it tri-drive?
We did. There was that creates length, Andrew, in the process where you got to position that turntable.
Okay, it makes sense.
So the thing was we slid the quad forward to drag that weight off the truck.
Yeah.
So we could run with a bogey.
Okay.
If we weren't restricted to 30 metres, that would have been an option. And probably a try would have been probably more easier.
And the port itself would probably have looked positively at something over 30 metres.
Yeah. It's a stevedore constraint.
Getting it down here, of course. Getting it down here, different story.
Yes. And we're happy to run stuff that's port only. The issue is interfacing into stevedores.
Yeah,
so
quite right.
We're gonna run a like a 3-trailer road train electric truck once we get the final approvals from NHVR. But we'll just run it on port and to the port empty parks again, and that way we don't have any stevedore length constraints, so we can be more efficient.
This is going to make a lot of the other ports very jealous, I think.
Possibly. Well, they run some of them run Super Bs, so they could look at something similar.
They do.
Question they could.
Yeah, you're right.
Depends on the mix of business or whether it makes a lot of sense for this vehicle. It makes sense for us because we do have a high percentage of 20s and heavy 20s. Yeah. So for us, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's terrific.
Yeah.
Is it as? It's probably as significant as the Super B.
We'll see what the take-up's like. See if other people want to play the game. But
it's a fairly big increase in payload.
It is, yeah. But again, it's 20s only, and a lot of the trade is 40s.
Yeah.
So it depends on your business mix whether it makes sense for you or not.
Yeah.
If you're going to cart 40s, and indeed the A-double pretty much does the job most times.
Yeah.
You don't need a Super B to cart 40s.
Correct. Yeah.
It's only if you cart a lot of 20s you need a Super B. So we've got a couple of Super Bs. We'll have a couple of these,
and they're really good.
Yeah, the Super Bs are good. So we'll be able to smash the 20s.
Yeah,
which is the objective.
Well, that's a wonderful innovation.
And you think of big seasonal times like
big chickpeas
and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's where we need vehicles like that.
I find it interesting that you're a relative newcomer to the port or port roads.
Yes. Oh well.
As a tenant.
As a tenant.
Right.
Andrew.
Now, Super Bs generally are owned and run by tenants because of their location on
Well,
Port Road.
we are renting some space down there at the moment.
But I just find it interesting that you're a relative newcomer.
We've been going a long time, but we've just never been on port. Yeah.
But you've introduced a brand new type of vehicle. Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Well, part of our DNA is innovation.
I understand.
It's one of our core values.
Well, I was pointing to that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it's also, our value is innovation, constantly challenging assumptions.
Yeah.
We've got a lease with the Port of Brisbane. We look to move in November this year.
Yep.
And it's us thinking
we're
outside the
excited
box
about
and
that.
going, well, how can we do business in a more efficient way that supports the shippers ultimately and supports our business? And the big thing that we're really thinking here is we don't want to disrupt the flow of the port and also the terminals. We don't want to go to the terminals and say, hey, we got this combination, can we get some special treatment? No, we want to look at it the exact same way that you would a single, an A double, a Super B,
Yep.
geographically.
Where we can go to places like AAT and there's no length constraints, we'll try and run three trailers if we can.
Yep.
I better come and work for you.
So
Have you got a board?
got a management team. So yeah, we're excited about it, and we're really keen. One of the things about moving to the port for us was about making sure we took advantage of
What you've got?
the competitive advantage that the port offered.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was Super Bs and the Super A. So we're excited to see them put into practice.
Yep.
We'll be excited to see them back in, and we'll be excited to take 4 in and pull 4 out.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
That's
Really
what we're
cool.
looking for.
Well, look, I feel very privileged that you have got me here to tell me about this new vehicle. I mean, obviously, I'm interested because
Yes.
Yeah.
this is part of my DNA, just like yours.
Yeah. Exactly. We couldn't think of a more appropriate person to bring along to unveil it to effectively. So you've
Well,
been
I
a
feel
big
very.
part of
I feel.
Big part
Thank
of
you, and I feel privileged that you have.
Yep. Mate,
So,
you've been with the port for over 20 years.
Yes, and you've been a great supporter of landside improvements and landside innovation. So
Massively.
yeah,
Well, thank
very
you.
much so.
You're with Brett 15 years ago with the A double and then with the discussions leading up to that as well.
Yes, we have had the odd discussion about vehicles over the years, and I've always found
Vehicles and regulators, Andrew. They've
that's
always
true.
consumed a lot of airtime.
Well, that's right. Many discussions about these things. So you just got to keep chipping away. That's the only.
That's
the only
right.
way. You've got to persevere.
Yeah.
And never give up.
Perseverance. That's right.
And eventually you'll get where you want to go.
That's right.
It's my experience.
No, precisely.
Yep.
Couldn't agree.
And we're really fortunate that your successor, Nicola, has been really great supporter of this project we've been working on.
Yes.
And, she's helped champion what we've got organised tomorrow, which for those listeners is in the past. But essentially our plan here is doing an on-road assessment with NHVR tomorrow.
Yep. In fact, we're going to run the Super A and the Super B over the same course, so they'll take measurements and assess both.
And this would have been modelled anyway.
Yeah, yes, it's been modelled, yes.
So it'll be a case of just checking to make sure that it performs on the road the way it's designed.
Blend up against the model, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I don't think Brett would have wanted to purchase two 250-ton rated trucks for no reason, let alone the trailer sets.
I'm very confident they'll be fine. The modelling hasn't been completed, but I think at HPV I've had one stab at it. It'll be fine. Just sitting in the truck, backing it up, and you just get the feel that suspension can handle a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Because it's going to run pretty much when it's running with four grain boxes, it's running at its max, around that 33 ton, 32, 33 ton on that truck. So
Grain in 20s?
yes, sir. You don't get anywhere near that sort of weight with your 40s, Andrew. So
No. I'm just wondering if I understood it correctly with the latest chickpea season, there was a big shortage of 20-foot containers to cart them, wasn't there?
there is, yeah.
Yep.
So
I know that's going to be an ongoing problem, I think, going forward. Yeah.
Well, I wondered whether, it was talked about some time ago of attempting to move those those commodities into 40-foot containers because of the
Yes.
shortage of 20s?
And they do.
Some people do that. Yeah, some of the packers do that,
Yep.
but not a lot.
No.
Because they're all set up around 20s, so they just, I suppose they just wait wait till the 20s are available.
The other thing they do is they also accept downgraded boxes. So
Right.
they accept high quality GP containers rather than food quality.
Rather than foods, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Now, the reason I asked that question was because you've effectively put a new vehicle on the road with a view to carrying heavy 20-foot containers.
Yes, and their use
And
is
they're
declining.
sort of a declining use of them.
That's right.
That's what I
No,
wondered.
you're right. Yep, you are right. That's why I say we don't need a lot of them, but certainly they'll be a very useful niche in our armoury.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, look, that's the end of the day. As long as you keep the vehicle utilised properly,
Yep.
then it won't eat your head off.
No,
It'll pay its way.
it'll
That's
be
what you
busy, Andrew. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It'll be busy.
want. Well, what's not to like about that?
And nothing. You wait to see it. It's a really cool looking truck.
Yeah,
Yep.
good.
Yeah,
I
we'll
look
look
forward
at
to seeing it.
Well, probably on that note, why don't we go
Let's
look
go
at
and have a
the
look.
thing.
Okay.
So
I'll look
thank you
forward
very much, Andrew, for joining us in this
Thank you, Andrew.
discussion.
Thanks for coming down.
Pleasure.
Appreciate you. We appreciate your time and sharing.
Happy to come. Happy to come and listen and see this new truck.
Very good.
Let's go look at it.
Let's go look.
Thank you.
That's terrific. Beautiful Big Mac.
Just look at this.
Thanks for listening to our podcast, Rolling Forward.
We love sharing content for the logistics industry, so please also connect with us on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.